Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, I want to talk about Dauntless today. Have you guys heard of Dauntless? Dauntless, if you don't know, is an online monster hunting co-op style game, and if you've ever heard of Monster Hunter World or roll back a few years, there was a game called Evolved, which eventually went free to play. Evolved Stage 2, I think it was. Yeah, so Dauntless is kind of in that mold with those types of games. It is in open beta right now, and it is free to play. And I've wanted to jump into Dauntless for about a week or so now, and 2 Fridays ago, when open beta first started, I tried to get in for a Friday night Twitch stream. But I was in queue for like 4 hours, and I was like number 17,000 or something, so I'm like, never mind, I'll do something else. But I finally managed to get in last Friday, so I've got a link to that Twitch stream in the description box below if you guys are going to want to watch that. But I'm going to be using clips from that stream in this video itself because, you know, my experiences so far, I've got some stuff to talk about it, so let's get straight to that. Look guys, I'll just say this, Dauntless so far, for me at least, how I feel about it is, Dauntless is to MMOs what Netflix was to cable. That's how I feel about it so far, having experienced it now. And I'll explain that a little bit. First things first, Dauntless is made by a studio called Phoenix Labs, and they comprise of former developers from BioWare, Bethesda, Riot Games, and what's the other one? Carbine Studios. So you've got influences in here from WildStar, a bit of World of Warcraft, League of Legends, even Albion Online in terms of the graphics. And, you know, it does have that cartoony look first and foremost when it comes to aesthetics from games like Fortnite as well. And if you can't handle that cartoony style, then you may struggle to, you know, immerse yourself in this monster hunting world. I was really impressed with what I saw so far. Once you manage to get past the login queues, which they've now kind of fixed because we're, what, 2 weeks into the open beta already, the tutorial is going to teach you the basics. And the basics are, the premise of this game is, you know, it's taking place on the Shattered Isles. So I don't know if it's sometime in the past or in the future, but we're all slayers. Every player is a slayer, and that simply means a monster hunter. And the entire game is about slaying monsters on the Shattered Isles. So, you know, you can group up in a group of 4, or you can go out solo into these islands and then just go and slay stuff. And there is a character progression system in there as well in terms of upgrading your weapons, crafting alchemy potions, and all that good stuff. So there is an RPG element to Dauntless as well, just besides the usual monster hunting thing going on. So I've had a chance to look at those stuff, the basic gameplay, and a bit of the character progression as well. Right into the tutorial, I will say I was really impressed to see cinematic cutscenes with voice acting in it, and it was actually really good. Not something I'd expect from Dauntless, because while I've been following the news about the game's development, I've not necessarily watched, you know, any preview videos or anything, because I don't usually do that. I want to enter everything fresh. And I was impressed by the quality so far of that voice acting and the cinematics. I thought it was done really well. And then when you get out of the airplane and onto the world for the tutorial to go and kill a monster, that's when you start to see the gameplay in action. And the combat system is basically you're left clicking for basic attacks and you're right clicking for heavy attacks, and then you've got combos as well to execute. So tapping 4 times, for example, will execute a move, and then that'll take up some stamina. You do have a stamina bar, you got a health bar and everything. And your space bar is not a jump, it is a dodge, because some of these behemoths, which is what the monsters are called here in Dauntless, will have crazy types of attacks, big attacks, you know, AoE frontal cones, tail whip slapping. And, you know, there are a bunch of different behemoths in the game, and all of them have different fight styles or different boss, you know, mechanics or whatever that you need to learn. So that was what the tutorial was about, you know, just learning how to fight. And in the Dauntless world, there's going to be resources that pop up on the landscape, stuff like plants that you can pick up for alchemy. And yeah, so that was a really long tutorial as well, because one of the things I instantly noticed about Dauntless is that, you know, it's not just a hack it for a couple of seconds and it dies. No, the idea behind a monster hunting game like this is all about the monster fight. That is it. That is your one big boss fight, and that's going to take you a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, even up to 5 minutes. I had to do the tutorial multiple times, because I'll explain why in a bit, but the boss fights are long and they're not a walk in the park. So I do like that about Dauntless. And then once you finish the tutorial, you then go to Ramsgate, and Ramsgate is this central hub for all players out of the tutorial to meet up, to craft items, to upgrade their stuff, and of course to socialize, create guilds, get into parties, and then pick up quests, like really simple type quests to go out and kill a certain behemoth. And then you get on the airship, and then 4 of you just get dropped into an instance, island of map, and then you guys hunt the monster. My open beta experience has been simply that, and that in itself is fun. While I had the experience of killing that monster solo in the tutorial, the group experience was a lot more fun because you get trapped on an island in the sky, and you guys have to travel for a bit, look and hunt for this behemoth, and once you find it, you guys, 4 of you, will just start attacking it, and each of you will have different kind of combos and skill depending on what weapons you use. So there's swords, there's pikes, there's I forgot what these are called, but you can throw them from range, and then the last one's an axe, I think. And you can just craft each of them and then try them out to see which one you like, which one you don't. So a group having all 4 of those different weapons actually works pretty well. And after taking down the behemoth until, I don't know, half health or whatever, he kind of disappears, and then you guys got to go around the island and hunt him again and then finish him off. And killing a behemoth is going to give you Aether, which is like a special resource that is a commodity in this Dauntless world. And then you get on the airship and you get back to Ramsgate and you do what you got to do again. That whole group fight part was about 15-20 minutes, and the thing is, like I said, it's not a walk in the park. It's not like, oh, let's go on this island, let's spend like a couple of minutes, kill this boss, and let's get out of here. No, it is a full immersive, almost a half-an-hour type experience that you and your guild or you and some friends can actually just enjoy, taking down the boss fight, messing around with the combat system, and get the hell out of there and do it all over again on a different island and fighting a different behemoth. So based on that group experience, here's what I enjoyed so far. First things first is the combat system did feel like I was playing almost a single player type RPG-esque game because your attacks were very heavy and it has the weight. The combos that you can execute, the animations are decent, and when you look at the other weapons, other players using a different weapon than you'll see that their own combo animations look good as well. One of the things that I found really annoying about the combat system so far is that once you get into a animation run, once the animation cycle starts going off and you see the boss about to do like maybe a back kick, or he leaps up and is about to jump down or whatever, you naturally would use your dodge to get out of the way. But once you've committed to a combo animation, you cannot dodge, so there's no animation canceling, and then you just have to take it in the face, which I found kind of a bit weird, simply because coming from an MMORPG background and you get into a game like this where everything is more slowed down and impactful and heavy because it is just a singular boss fight, you do kind of feel the pacing struggles a little bit. But I suspect the more I play, the better I will get at timing things and learning when and how to dodge, when to go for the combo, when to stop, and wait until the boss shows his cards first before I do my thing, So there's a lot of mechanics and rotations that will come with experience, I suppose. Now, why I said I felt like Dauntless was, what Netflix did to cable was because if you think of it from an MMORPG perspective, and like I said, I don't know how to classify Dauntless. It's not an MMORPG, it's just an MMO online monster, co-op hunting game. But when I look at it from, from a different perspective, Dauntless is all about the boss fight. If you're trying to think of it in MMORPG terms, it's all about the final dungeon boss fight. That's going to be the long, lengthy one, or a raid fight rather. Let's just make it a raid boss. And the thing about Dauntless is, it gets rid of 80% of the MMORPG content clutter. So there's no fetchy type quests, or you don't have to do those fetchy type quests. There's no, long elaborated dialogue about exposition and story and all that stuff. It gets rid, like I said, almost 80% of MMORPG things and just gives you the fun part. You like to take on hard bosses, you want to take on raid bosses right away. This game is for you. But it's gonna look and feel like an MMO with RPG mechanics, with the whole character progression, crafting and everything. Those things stay in there. That's how I see it. And if there are MMO players out there, MMORPG players out there that like that sort of game where you bypass 80% of the things that you don't like and just go for the really fun stuff, the hard boss and the looty stuff and the crafting progression, then I think Dauntless is gonna suit you just fine. So that's my experience so far. The most annoying thing though, however, really, the open beta is the loading screen issues that I've been having, and from research a lot of other people are having as well, whereby if you finish just the tutorial, you'll be stuck in the loading screen for about 10 minutes, and if you exit before getting out of the tutorial into Ramsgate, you have to do the entire tutorial again. That's kind of a pain in the ass. And once you get out of that, there could be more loading screen issues. Like I was having issues once I did my first group hunt, and then everybody got back to their base just fine. I was still stuck on the island because nothing would load for me, so there's lots of issues like that so far in open beta. But judging by how the popularity of Dauntless just skyrocketed because it's Monster Hunter World but only free to play, I can see them improving this a lot, and they have to, because in terms of games that I've played this year, modern games, so far Dauntless's loading screens are the worst that I've ever experienced. I mean, 10 minutes to load, and it's got nothing to do with my gaming rig, I assure you on that front. So I really hope they fix that issue, because if you take away all the loading bullshit, Dauntless is actually really fun, and I had a lot of fun with that, especially in the group environment. If you watch my stream, you'll see me squealing a lot, enjoying excitement because of the adrenaline of the big boss fight. And like I said, there's no slow build up, there's no landscape questing, there's none of that things that slow you down in an MMO before you get to the good stuff. Dauntless is shoots you straight to the good stuff, and you just have fun with your friends in your guild. That is cool, and it's gonna be free to play, which is incredible. So I will be jumping into Dauntless some more over the next few weeks as I wait for them to fix issues with the loading screen and everything, and I will be jumping in some more just to see more of Dauntless. I want to tear up my character a little bit, and I want to do as much as I can do in there, kill more bosses or whatever, and see what they add in open beta. But again, it's still open beta, game hasn't even launched yet. So yeah, it's a game that I'll be keeping my eye on now that I've had the Dauntless experience. I like it, I really like it. The graphics, the animations, the combat system, although I'm still getting used to that. Just the adrenaline of the big behemoth fight, either solo or in a group. So lots to discover, I guess. And if you want to check it out, you can. Dauntless is free to play, as I said, so just go to dauntless.com or whatever it is, and you can download, make an account, and jump in. But the loading screen issues, you may have it, you may not have it. Just beware of that. So that's it for me, guys. I just really wanted to share my thoughts about Dauntless so far. Kind of impressed with it, and like I said, it's not really an MMORPG, which is what I usually cover mainly on my channel, but this is one game that I think has some attraction for MMORPG players looking for MMO style boss fights in a smaller group and without 80% of that MMORPG clutter. This could be that game for you guys, so go check it out if you want to. And like I said, stream in the description box below. And that is it. So hit the like button for more MMO videos, or if you like Dauntless. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more MMO content. I do reviews, discussions, live streams, all that good stuff. So once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you want to watch more videos, click on these cards, anyone would do. And if you want to watch more videos, subscribe to the channel with the button down here. I know you want to.